Mae brwydro yn yr hanes hip-hop yn rhywbeth diddorol rili, cos nath o datblygu fel ffordd o gwella dy hun fel MC, pwy sy'n gallu fod yn well na'r person nesa. A mae hwnna'n rhywbeth sydd wedi dod allan o gwreiddiau hip-hop yn gyffredinol rili, rhan fatha hanes gwreiddiau hip-hop yn y Bronx, yn amlwg yna lot o cymunedau tlawd, a o pawb yn cwffi i fod yn well na'i gilydd rili, a dwi'n meddwl na dyna be nath rap oedd troi yr emosiwn yna i mewn i rhywbeth creadigol, dwi'n meddwl.
I would say a lot of the battle culture and reference even comes from like WWE wrestling. Yeah, it's like the bravado, the showmanship, even the bookings to some degree. I've seen plenty of battles where the other person's not lost because of their ability as an MC. They've lost because they were frustrated listening to somebody say something about their mother. And I just thought the more comfortable I can get with the things that make me tick, that make me uncomfortable, and I'm not sure about myself, the less ammunition you'll instantly have on me. And that's always stood me in good stead. And I just thought I would treat this as a good sport and use it to gain confidence. And yeah, it really did. Yeah, it keeps you thinking quick, I think. I think that hip-hop and rap definitely has a competitive nature about it. Whether you're doing the graffiti side, whatever you're doing, there's a want to be the illest. So I think the moment you put in a versus arena, well, we got an opportunity to see who the sicker is then, based on the rules that you guys are setting. When you've got like people like Biggie years prior saying they're the sickest, this is still the environment, if you want to make such claims, to prove it.
So mae brwydro hefo lot o pasiwn yn efo, a wedig os da chi'n byw yr bywyd yna, da chi eisiau bod yn well ar rhan bywyd chi, mae hwnna'n rhywbeth sydd yn dod drwad yn batlo, dwi'n meddwl. So mae'r hanes yna o eisiau gwella dy hyn fel artist, mae ffordd o minio'r y cleddyf rili, betai, dyna be ydi o.
Me and Jake the Ripper and Fernie Mac, we come together and said, let's bring a new Battle League back, because he was heavy into battle rap, Jake. And we've done that, then we put up a Battle League up. I sort of run the live parts of it, Jake run the battle part of it. We filmed it all, had cyphers, loads of collabs with each other, like a big group of us. So when I was online seeing lyrics, before I even knew anything really about it, I just read it, and it really fascinated me how people can put punchlines and stuff together. And then I thought, I'm going to give it a go. At first, I was terrible. It's just outwit the other person with rhymes. But yeah, it's just insult that person as much as possible with words and embarrass them on that stage, I guess, and get the crowd to laugh at them and with you, rather than the other way around.
I decided to enter a poetry slam. Didn't really know what a poetry slam was, so I was like, what, do I have to battle someone? What's the deal with this? But I won it. It gave me that sort of like, okay, well, obviously I'm doing something all right, so I'll carry on. So I just carried on. And then Ladies of Rage came about that same time as well. So that gave me the like support and inspiration.
O'n i'n dilyn o am blynyddoedd maith rili ar rhan brwydro, o'n i wrth y modd efo'r holl beth, wedig pan mae rappers yn neud off top i penna nhw. Mae hwnna'n rhywbeth gyda i lot o diddordeb mewn, a mae'n rhywbeth dwi wedi neud lot yn y gorffennol yn Cymru yn y iaith Gymraeg hefyd. Ond be dwi yn teimlo dyddi yma ydi beth sydd wedi mynd ar goll ydi brwydro rili. A'r gair brwydro a'r gair freestyling, maen nhw'n sort of yn cael ei daflu o gwmpas ychydig bach mwy wan, cos maen nhw lot mwy scripted. Wedig pam ti'n siarad am y leagues lot fwy na. So mae artistiaid rwan yn gael, o rapwyr, yn gael lot mwy o cyfle i paratoi scripts, sydd hefyd yn crefft diddorol, cos mae hwnna yn mynd â brwydro mewn i byd wahanol wedyn, a dwi'n ffeindio hwnna'n diddorol hefyd, cos mae'n golygu bod yr rapper yn gael yr amser i really meddwl amdan be maen nhw isio ddeud. So mae hwnna'n gallu bod yn lot mwy pwerus. Mae o fatha batlo mewn ffordd wahanol rili, mae o bron iawn fatha battle llenyddiaeth rili, pan ti'n meddwl amdano fo fela. A mae hwnna'n just rhywbeth rili diddorol.
I've won every battle I've ever done, yeah. And I don't even need to write lyrics. It just comes in my head. When it comes out and it sounds good, and you know it sounds good because you can feel it, in your own energy, bam, and then you get a reaction. It's like cold, just wow.
Yeah, I started going to training sessions originally to DJ, and I quickly learned that like b-boys want fast music. Yeah, so I started training and started going out to breaking nights. Eventually ended up starting the Cardiff City Kings Jam. It was definitely a strong time for the breaking scene, because Cardiff University Breaking Society was really strong then, like really pushing like training sessions, competitions, jams, like this. It felt like it was really well held together at that time. Definitely, we put on a jam and we'd get people coming from all over. And then obviously they put on jams in their own places and we'd go travel to their jams as well. Really strong community was at that time.
Ond I fod yn hollol sort of well gan I pan oedd rappers yn brwydro off top y penna. Cos I fi fel rhywun sydd i tyfu fyny yn weld hip-hop yn datblygu, hwnna di greiddiau fi really, so ma well gan I weld hynna. So pan mae artist yn gallu meddwl ar ei draed a dod o rhywbeth really clyfar allan, gan I lot o barch at hynna de. Cos mae hwnna'n sgil a hanner i gallu meddwl amdan rhywbeth ar dy draed a peidio gadael pwysa yr sefyllfa effeithio dy feddwl. Cos pan ti mewn brwydyr iawn a ti'n gwybod bod yna cynulleidfa yn sbio na chdi a ti o dan pwysa, ti o dan y limelight i wneud rhywbeth, ond sgyn ti'n sgript am byd ti'n gorau wneud hynna ar y spot, mae hwnna'n sgil hynna, t'wo.
For me, breaking is acting. I gotta tell them that I'm the best. I gotta act it out as if I'm the best. It is very much community run. It takes determination. Like every breaker I know, there's gonna be so many obstacles in breaking. It's like every move is hard. That's determination, and every breaker has that. Even if they're doing it just for fun, it's like it hurts. Breaking's always been competition. Hip hop has always been competition. In breaking, competition has drove evolution. It's like in the 80s, if somebody had a better mill, you'd come back 2 weeks later. You'd practice your mill for 2 weeks non-stop and you'd come back with a better mill.
Os ti o leia wedi paratoi rhywbeth, ti'n gallu fynd I mewn i'r brwydr yna chydig bach mwy hyderus. Ond dwi'n meddwl y sgil mwyaf efo hynna ydy cofio'r sgript. So os ti'n mynd I mewn I brwydr dyddiau yma a ti efo sgript ond ti di anghofio'r sgript, wel mae hwnna yn mynd I fod yn broblem, cos os ti ddim yn gallu freestyle off top y pen a ti di anghofio'r sgript, wel mae hwnna mynd I fod yn sefyllfa eitha anodd wedyn.
In Cardiff we had very strong women role models, so Hailstorm I mentioned before. She was an amazing influence in the breaking scene and she inspired me and the other women that were dancing then, and we had like sometimes it was 50-50 men and women at training sessions, and that was like for me that was normal, and that I think was why I was able to really embrace it and ignited me and inspired me when I was surrounded by those other women.
B-boying is all about the battle, innit? That's all it ever was, it's all it's ever gonna be, it's battling. Whether you, out of all the elements of the hip-hop, whether you like the DJ, you can battle. If you like the graffiti, you can battle. If you like the dancing, it's all about the battle. B-boying is a battle, but that's what I loved about it. It was a battle, but it was camaraderie, yeah? You battle them, but you respected them. You had that respect for them.
So so mae brwydro efo aspects gwahanol iddo fo, really. So ti efo'r aspect byrfyfyrio na, lle ti literally'n gorau neud off top y pen, a ti efo'r aspect yna lle fe wedi paratoi ymlaen llaw. Ond really, diwedd y dydd, mae gyd fatha chwaraeon lleisiol, really. A dwi wrth y modd efo hynna, rap a hip-hop. Dyna ydi bywyd fi, really. Dwi'n mynd neud yn byd arall. Dwi'n byw oddi ar y crefft, hwnna ydi bywyd fi. So dwi wrth y modd efo bob aspect ohono fo, a mae'n diddorol weld sy'n mae'r aspects wahanol ma a sy'n mae'r elfennau wahanol ma'n datblygu fel da ni'n mynd ymlaen, t'wo?